Greetings and a good evening, and welcome to the atarangi. Today we're doing another storytelling episode while we're playing Hunters versus Runners again. Klaus and I will be doing the storytelling, while Barry and Simli will be playing the storyline.
We are the
Hunters
players.
and the runners will have this kit. This will be for the runners, and the hunter will have all of this, with some special stuff in here. You'll see how it goes while we play. Enjoy the video.
Alright, have we decided a quadrant?
I would not say a quadrant, I would say the first two compounds. So this one,
First two compounds. Let's go.
this one and the Asian one, which is the one to the left.
Yeah. Right, we rolled scenario number
I'm in
3.
survival.
We rolled 3.
Alright, so Simli and Barry were playing, correct?
Yes.
So you're in the...
Do you have the scenario?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I've got it.
Okay, cool.
I've got it.
It's fine.
It's a short one, so it's easy to do. You're in a big city. And every day the tide gets higher. Until all buildings are flooded. Your goal is to survive and collect the resources necessary to survive. For 3 weeks. You won't be surviving for 3 weeks, but you need everything you need for 3 weeks at the end of this session.
Okay.
And you're gonna need enough for every character you pick.
And in what city are we?
You're in a generic skyscraper city.
Okay, we are in New York City.
Yeah, basically.
I have decided we are. It's like D.
You're in San Fran, Tokyo. It's the city from Big Hero 6, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that is.
Possibly.
But let's just say New York City. That's easier.
Yeah, sure. Doesn't matter too much. So you get to choose how many characters you want. 1, 2, 3 characters. But remember, you're gonna need the resources to feed them. And you're not allowed to pick a character that does not need water to survive. The water flooding is not drinkable water, it's salt water.
It's salt water. But if we have someone of something that can purify it for us.
Peaks Katara again.
Already picked in one of these sessions. Keep fresh characters. Alright.
Just keep picking the same 3 characters
If you
over
get
and
a
over again.
scientist, they can probably get some stuff done.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, just a scientist is very helpful because you can be like, yes, if we have
For
this
your
and this, then we
information,
can do
the
it.
average person is gonna need at least 42 liters of water for the period of time. So you're gonna need to be able to either make that amount of water, or you're gonna need to have that amount of water by the end of this
Okay,
session.
I have a question. Can I start hunting?
Yeah, sure.
Thought you already were.
I mean, you're allowed to start pretty much whenever you want. That's hilarious.
What? Joanna, just take stuff and you can go again?
I did not expect that. I didn't know I was on this corner.
Did you get jump scared?
I was just hopping around. I hopped around the whole compound.
I saw that happen in 4K.
Nice.
Not earning in 1080p.
Okay,
In 720p.
so someone we haven't used? Someone smart?
Well, either someone smart or somebody useful.
Or resourceful, useful?
Alright, we're gonna need one in 10, 9,
What's the main character from Dr. Stone again? Is it Senku?
Yeah, Senku.
Senku?
Alright.
That guy.
Yeah, Senku.
Do you want anyone else? Or are you sticking to just Senku?
We are probably going to need
I'm
some
behind glass, you
muscle.
idiot!
Alright, you're gonna need some muscle.
So I'm thinking about Knuckles. And I don't know why I'm thinking about Sonic characters. Oh, there's
Because we
glass
had
here.
Sonic in the previous recording.
Yeah,
Honestly, I wouldn't mind having him around.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with Knuckles. So Knuckles is gonna need less water because he's small.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about him. Like, he is small, he doesn't need that.
I'm thinking Knuckles is about half the size of a normal person.
Okay, so he's the length of my leg.
Alright,
Okay,
so,
so you get Knuckles, but Knuckles never knows the way.
Knuckles does never know the way.
No, that's Uganda Knuckles, that's someone else.
No, he physically does not know the way. He has Zoro syndrome. Alright, on your first day, the water is a centimeter on top of the streets.
A centimeter
The
on top of
emergency scenario has been called, and it's been broadcasted that no help is coming.
No help is coming.
A bunch of people are looting stores, because this is America.
Yes, of course. Why did I choose America? Why?
Should have picked Tokyo.
Should have picked San Fran, Tokyo.
I'm gonna need some
Psych!
sentences from you.
I mean, I gave you what's happening. I'm gonna need you to,
You know?
like, the guys are gonna need to start thinking
Yes.
what they're doing.
Okay, I think the best thing is to ask Senku what to do and then split up into the things.
Alright. Alright, let me think like Senku here. What's Senku gonna send you to get? So
Well, he knows.
Senku says we're gonna need barrels. We're gonna need ropes or wires.
Good. Well, look at it. I mean, there's not nearly enough rope. Rope? Yes, rope. Exactly my point.
And you're gonna have to find food, preferably food that keeps for a long time. He tells you to start looking on lower areas because higher areas will still be reachable later.
Okay. So... I will take off.
You can't fly! What? You fly?
No, I just jump good.
So I go with Knuckles to the hardware store for the barrels and rope.
I mean, Knuckles flies.
Okay,
Well,
Yeah,
he
so-
glides more.
Yeah, he glides. He can't
So
fly
I think
up.
I think that's a pretty good call. And then I'll take Senku and we'll do the other stuff.
Okay. So who's going where? One more time.
I'm going to the hardware store with Knuckles for barrels and rope.
Alright.
And I'm gonna be gathering for food with Senku.
Alright, so you arrive at the hardware store. And a lot of people are stealing tools and fighting each other about it. So Barry, you are walking around and you're just stealing cables, loose cables from alleys.
Pretty much, yeah.
I drowned. I might drown.
Don't.
Where are you that you might drown?
Underwater, of course.
What?
You're in the swimming pool?
Inconceivable.
I was in one of the drainage channels.
Nice.
Right, this map has those.
I forgot about the drainage.
Alright, so
Wait.
Simli, you're gonna have to do something here. You arrive at the store.
Okay, so me and Knuckles.
Mhm.
I let Knuckles fight other people / cars me so I can take the stuff we need, like barrels, rope, and some other
Alright, so you work on that. And you're not
those
gonna hit
things.
me. So you work on that. And then suddenly
pineapples.
And then suddenly, you have met back up with Senku and Barry.
Okay, yes.
And Knuckles is complaining that you got knocked out instantly.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so end of the day report. You have gathered enough rope and cables. Some of the tools you need, but no food and no barrels yet.
Well, okay, no battles.
Dawn of the next day. The water has risen to half a meter above the street level. At this point, any subway line is not reachable anymore.
Jonah.
Focus on your storytelling, maybe. I mean,
Playing.
Yeah,
through the
yeah,
story
Jonah,
line,
focus on
maybe.
your storytelling.
I mean, I've given you guys what's happened today. You have to actually start playing now.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I was
so-
trying to say.
So I am to Senku. Okay, we have wires. But where do you think, Senku, is the best place for battles? And is there something else you need? Or we need?
Alright, so obviously we're gonna need food that keeps good for long. And we're gonna need... If you can find inflatable boats, that would be useful. And a good place for barrels might be somewhere near the shipping yards and the chemical plants at the edge of the city.
Okay, so I'm going to send Barry and Knuckles to the chemical plant and the harbor and
By the way,
edge
you're
of
gonna
city.
have to move your base soon, because you're located on the street level right now, so you're just sitting on top of a dumpster with water next to it. Because that's your base of operations right now. Right, so Knuckles climbs up the building with Barry, and he glides away
Yes.
with Barry. Because it doesn't have to make any sense, because Knuckles gliding doesn't make sense to begin with.
Yes.
Where are they going? The chemical plant?
Chemical plant, harbor.
Chemical
you know
plant
that,
zone?
And me and Senku are going to the toy store for to look for boats. Yes, I know it sounds stupid.
I see what you're doing. Alright. Barry, you arrive on the... Simply, you're not gonna hit me from there. You arrive at the roof of the chemical plant.
Okay. And we're looking for barrels.
Yes. Preferably empty ones.
So those would probably be in a storage room somewhere.
Okay. Well, how convenient, because you happen to be standing right up top the main storage room of the chemical plant.
Cool. That will come in handy.
Unfortunately, the ramp inwards is in a hole, so it's underwater.
Yeah, we can probably... yeah.
It's a tin sheet roof, so it's probably not too hard to break through though.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to break the roof. That might be a bad idea.
Simply, you arrive at the toy store only to see that a bunch of children have made an evil empire for only children.
I knew that would happen.
So you've come prepared.
Yes.
I love that no one has died yet.
Yes. Well, Giovanna died in the beginning, but
We decided
enough.
that that's not canon. Alright, both of you now have things to choose. Go ahead.
okay. So, because I am rather playful myself, I can get well along with the kids, or I can win the kids over to let us in.
They get instantly annoyed by you and tie you up using silly string. So much silly string that you look like a mummy. You are tied up in copious amount of silly string. Like there's literally a hill of silly string on top of you. The people that don't know what silly string is, that's like the weird strings that come out of the spray cans. So Simli is basically just sitting in slime.
Cool. Oh,
Oh
I
yeah!
didn't think you were chasing me. Okay, now I'm dead for real. This one counts.
Finally, food.
I'm gonna drink my night vision potion.
I have an extra.
Alright, what's your next moves, boys? Come on.
Well, I'm going to start fighting out of the silly string.
They add more silly string.
It's just silly how much silly string they have.
They have a silly amount of string. Alright,
Yeah,
Barry,
they are
your
in the
next
toy
move
store.
while Sibley thinks about it.
So the door in is flooded, right?
Yes.
Which is only slightly annoying because we could theoretically still go in.
Yes. There's half a meter of water inside though. The sun is slowly starting to set. So you're gonna have to return to base at some point.
Let's just barge in anyways.
Alright, so you swim down into the entrance. You've got Knuckles, right?
Yeah, he got Knuckles.
Knuckles can't swim, so he walks on the bottom to the entrance.
Well, Knuckles can swim.
Depends on the game. Sonic 3 and Knuckles cannot swim. So,
Barry, you know you are not allowed to be inside for too long.
I'm just exploring at this point.
Because I only have seen you, I think, once.
so Barry,
and I
you
was
get
with it.
inside, but now you have to hold Knuckles up out of the water.
Okay, that's fine.
There
I
is
will hold
barrels
him.
though, good news.
I will hold him until I can put him in a barrel.
They just got a fresh delivery of a bunch of empty barrels that they were gonna put products into.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, well, we can just take those.
Yeah, how are you gonna take them?
Well, we just get in them and then we take them.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? They're barrels, like... How are you moving these barrels?
Yeah.
We can tie them together and kind of just roll out.
Well, if you
can't
tie them
roll
together,
out.
they can't roll anymore.
You can't roll out because they're filled with air. You need to go underwater to get out. You can't fill them with water because then ain't no way you're getting them out of the water again. So Knuckles offers you a solution.
And that is?
Give Knuckles a long rope, because you got a rope with you. You've tied all of the barrels together. Knuckles is strong, so he suggests I pull him through the thing from the other side.
That might work.
Alright, so you work on
I'm
that
going to
plan,
give that a shot.
and you start moving on that. So Simli, in the meanwhile, what are you doing?
Well, I am still in the city stream.
Yeah, you also have
and
Senku
I don't
with
know
you.
what. And Senku is doing Senku stuff.
Yes, Senku is doing Senku stuff.
Senku is.
We'll return to the Senku stuff after this break.
After this commerce. No, there's no.
After this, Knuckles has damaged half of the barrels, but you got 5 barrels clean to the other side.
Cool.
And you start heading back to the base.
Where was Senku at again?
Senku is in the store.
Am I the only one still being hunted or?
No, I'm still around as well.
Cool.
I am dead.
So Senku has left
knows
the
exactly
store
where I
with
am.
3 inflatable boats. And has started heading back to the base.
Cool.
The children get bored of silly stringing Simli and they slide him outside on an inflatable boat as well.
Yay!
Now you're a pile of silly string floating in a boat on the water.
Congratulations, you kind of fulfilled an
Night
objective.
falls.
I am warm, I am isolated
Yes.
in the silly string.
Next morning. Alright, Barry, you're gonna have to make the plan because Simli isn't even in the base. You're gonna have to move the base at this point because you're all standing in water. The water is now 2 meters tall.
Yeah, I would just suggest moving into one of the skyscrapers and just going as high up as we can for now.
So you set a base 1 floor down from the roof of one of the higher towers in the city. This took you an entire day, and Simli, what did you do during this day?
I was trying to escape from the silly string.
Right, so in your struggling, you flip your boat and sink down in the water. Conveniently for you, the silly string loosens because of the water, and you get free.
Yay!
Also,
can stand.
Senku was smart enough to put a flag down on top of the tower, so you know where the base is.
Okay, so I go there.
Yes, you make your way back to the base. End of the day. Next day is gonna be... Water is already 3 stories tall now. It's accelerating.
Okay.
And it looks like you've only got another day after this for prep. Alright, what's the move?
Okay, we are going to need some more food.
Yes.
And I'm gonna ask Henk van, hey, what
yes,
do we need
more
besides
food.
food?
You don't even have any food, Elliot.
Yes.
Yeah, but we need more. Because
I am just still surviving from the candy from the toy store.
okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I've been investing my time in trying to find weapons that I might have stashed somewhere, but I couldn't.
Okay. Alright, so what's the move, boys? Come on.
Okay,
What's the plan for today? Where you
I'm
go?
gathering food.
Yeah, and how are you doing that?
We're putting Simli.
Everything's
Well,
flooded,
Simli's not
so-
here, right?
No, Simli
Well,
made
yes,
it
I
there.
am there.
You used an entire day of moving the base and getting Simli there.
Cool. Well, I think at this point we're gonna just take the barrels and turn.
And
Well, we
stash
have
fresh water in
canoes,
it
right?
because we are going to
No,
need
you've
fresh
got
water in it.
inflatable boats, and Senku has inflated them and connected them all together to make a big raft for at the end.
Okay, cool.
And he left 2 sets of boats for salvaging.
Cool. Yeah, so we're gonna use one of those to find to try to find some food,
Okay.
and I'm gonna leave that to Simli,
Alright.
which I know
Yes.
is a stupid idea, but let's just do it anyways.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then in the meantime, Senko and I are probably gonna work on some more of the engineering aspect of.
Oh no!
The door with the-
Right, so Senku uses the barrels whilst you're busy to capture rain for drinkable water. And he uses 2 other barrels to make a distillery. To distill salt water. He tells you to go get burnable fuels.
And that is what I shall do.
So Simli and Knuckles, how are you going to find food?
Okay, I decided that I'm going to take a long stick for self-defense.
Alright.
And the best way now, because I have Knuckles, is to hunt other people for their food.
Fair enough. You see a group
And
of
I'm
people
going to-
across the road, a few stories down. Because you're still on the roof.
Yes.
So Knuckles say I can glide in there from here.
Okay. But I said, Douglas, we are first going to try to intimidate them because you are a weird red echidna that with giant spikes on his face.
Alright, he says, okay, I've got an idea. And he just glides in and smashes through the window and yells at them. You're still on the roof.
I am slowly going down and going to the other side.
You start going up the stairs on the other side, only to be literally run over by the people who were there.
Nice.
And after that, you are literally run over by a wheelbarrow that Knuckles is rolling down with food in it. And then he drags you down the stairs with him. And then he tells you figure out a way to get this food across the road.
It is in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, simply. But the road is under under 3 stories of water.
Okay, so my plan is okay.
Right, Barry, where do you look for food real quick? Just a check-in.
Me?
Yes. For fuel, where are you looking?
For fuel?
Yeah, burnable fuel.
Where would I find burnable fuel?
Alright, you think about that, simply continue.
Okay. I go back to our base to get one inflatable boat and some rope.
Alright. You just crossed paths, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know.
Alright, so you get the boat and you get back to Knuckles. Joanna, you take the
And I
talent
have
from
put
here.
one end of the rope on the other side of the street.
Alright.
So tight.
Yeah, so you're gonna pull yourself across.
Yeah.
Alright. Joanna, what happens?
Wait, he wasn't following me?
Didn't Simli get injured by being run over by the wheelbarrow?
Yeah, but I always get injured.
It's not too big of a deal. He's not doing the pulling of the rope anyway. Knuckles is way
Unless
stronger.
if I make it a big of a deal, because now
Alright, go ahead.
they're with 3 people that have to carry 1 injured person.
Alright. So, Simli, who just now notices how crippled he was by everything that happened, stops being able to move whilst Knuckles pulls the boat across the street.
Yes, after I have swum over
Yes.
to the...
Only then do
Simli was
you notice.
completely fine up
Your
until this point. He
your
just twisted
perception-
his ankle.
Your perception was so low that you didn't see how injured you were.
No, Simli was fine up until this point. He just randomly twisted his ankle.
Yes, just randomly twist.
Well, you know what?
And
That
now he can
sounds
hardly
like me.
walk for 2 days.
How? Like 2 hours
So
or so.
Knuckles puts Simli
Because I twist my ankles a lot.
Knuckles puts Simli on the wheelbarrow and starts the long journey of pulling that thing up the stairs. Barry, where do you go?
So I'm still in HQ, right?
No, you're looking for fuel somewhere.
Yeah, but I started in HQ.
Yes.
So what I'm gonna do is, since we're in a building that's either an office or a bunch of living space, I'm gonna just start going down and tearing up furniture. Because
Right.
ain't nobody gonna need it anymore.
Alright. Barry returns with fuel and we get to the next day. The water is now only a few stories below the roof. Final day before you have your deadline. Senku says you should be fine on water on this point, but you're still a bit low on food.
Okay, food is all it can always be rationed. For how long? For how long do we have food?
1.5
Ration it,
weeks.
fine. Okay.
1.5 weeks. Thing is, you can survive for like 3 weeks without
Knuckles
food, so-
can't, he's an echidna. Echidnas need to eat at least once every 3 days.
Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Okay,
And he's a big echidna.
So you need to
course.
find more food for Knuckles.
So I say to Barry van, okay, you take Knuckles and go get some more food. Me and Senku will do some stuff to get things ready and get a few little bit of supplies that can be handy, like.
Alright,
A
so
bit
while
of scrap
Senku
metal
sits
or
back and
something
makes Simli
wood.
do all of the work, Barry goes to find some more food with Knuckles. Where do you go, Barry?
Do I happen to know the locations of any other survivor camps?
No, and many people have started floating out of the city on their own rafts at this point.
Then I'm gonna have to scavenge whatever might still be left in fridges and stuff like that on the floors that aren't flooded.
These things take
Or-
pretty much an entire day. Joanna, you do some stuff, and then I'll round it out at the end. You got anything?
Okay, so Barry ends up finding food for one more week, which means you have just not enough
Yes.
for the last few days before you
Okay.
get to safety. So
Yeah,
you need
but
to
we
find
will okay
food
for the last few
somewhere.
days if we ration.
Alright. So you float out. I'll round it off here then. So you float out on your raft at the end. Now you ended up having just a tiny
My
bit.
elytra broke.
You ended up having just a little bit of a small amount of food. So what you decide to do is you saw off half of Simli's legs to make him the length of a normal person.
Well, I
you
still
eat
need
them.
the same amount of food.
And you eat those legs.
Cool, that makes sense.
Well,
And Senku just...
I don't like this.
You end up being the height of a normal person instead of some eldritch abomination. So let's end off this video on this frame of our heroes walking into the sunset that I drew, that contains a completely accurate depiction of Simli. Except of course the middle sections of his legs have been cut off and then they've been stitched back together.
Yeah, that's what you get when you're being an eldritch horror monster.
Yeah, consider checking out Joanna's streams, linked in the description. And I guess we'll see you next time.